Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Hey, you were on.
We're on. We've upgraded, so we now no longer have a 40-minute rule. So we can do the full hour without a blemish, without a stop, without a pause or a break. But when you press record now, you have a different option. So you might find this, Claire, when you come to click record, it says either record on this computer or record on the cloud.
Oh yeah. When I was upgrading mine today, it just talked about the cloud. I was like, I just want to upgrade Zoom, get away.
It makes it just make it too complicated, don't they? It really do.
I know.
So yeah, welcome back everybody. It's good to be back again. Sorry we got cut short last week. So we're going to behave ourselves, and we're going to talk about healing. We're going to talk about life. We're going to go with the flow and see what crops up. We've already had a little chat before we came on cam about what's been going on with each of us over the last, well, I was with you, but over the last week of what's been going on and what have you. And I've actually pulled some cards for Claire, so I'm going to do a read for Claire later on as well, so that'll be interesting. And there was a load of cards that just fell out of the pack all in one go, and I thought, crikey me, what's going on? Crikey, what's going on here? Boom. So yeah, so we've had quite, well, you more so, Claire, because obviously you just said that you just made a video about you're going to be moving in the next week or so, but now you found out that you're probably not. So yeah, how are you finding it? How are you dealing with it? What you're doing? Because you've already spoke about grounding issues as well.
Do you know, I'm going to be honest, I actually think this is horrendous. And if I didn't know the techniques I know, and the people like you and other people and the self-care stuff, I actually think I'd be crying every day because of what's going on with the matrix, with solicitors, with estate agents, with other aspects of it, because they're basically saying you can move on this day, and then it gets, no, you can't. But they're not giving straight answers. We've had so many things that it's just been and it's dealing with the matrix side of things. And it's because people, what you've just said, that everybody's got so used to dealing with computers that nobody knows how to deal with compassion, empathy, understanding. And that, you know, when you're selling a house, you can't just flip. You know, and it's just, there's Gary's new job, there's my business, I'm getting to a point where I'm struggling to book clients in because I don't know where to book them in. I'm struggling to order stuff in if it's coming from abroad because I don't know if I'm still going to be here. And it's just trying to talk to people in the matrix, like the solicitors and the estate agent. It's like, and that's what it's like. And it's like, is a 27th doable? Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, it's doable. Go for it. This is what we're getting. This is what we're dealing with. So you leave it. You're going to carry on with doing your stuff. Then you ring up and no, it's not doable. No. That's what. And I'm not being vicious when I'm doing that. That's what they sound like. No. So what is doable? Well, we told you not to rent vans. That's what I'm getting. So for clients, I apologise. I might be back next week. I might not be back next week.
It's such a vicious circle, isn't it? And I know we were talking about this before we came on a little bit, and about the whole moving process. And they do say that moving house is one of the many most stressful situations to be in. And I mean, I was telling Claire before we came on, you know, this house that I'm in now, I bought this off my parents, and then they decided to move because they didn't want to be in this area anymore because it was getting a bit silly. But I mean, all the kids that were causing all the aggro before, they've all grown up and they've moved on or been kicked out or whatever. So now it's okay, you know. But yeah, so that there was nothing for me. There was no actual packing of things. So when I came home one day and my parents had moved, there was fuck all there in the house. The house was totally empty. It was stripped bare. I had nothing to sit on. There was no cupboards. I had a portable TV which I kept in my bedroom to watch telly on, and a one of them wire aerials. So I had that, and I sat that on a box. I had no furniture. In the end, I had to get like a free someone was going to chuck a 3-piece suite out because it was bloody knackered. They were getting a new one. There was springs coming out of it and everything. I was just like, you know what, I don't care. Just want something to sit on. And got that, and over time you build up and you build up and you build up. But yeah, so I didn't have any sort of packing of stuff. It was basically, this was going to be my house. They were moving out, and it was basically me staying where I already was. And that took, like I say, I think it must have about 4 months just to change from their name on the property to put it to my name on the deeds. And I put 2 complaints into what was Zurich, but I think they're called the Financial Conduct Authority now, but I think they used to be called Zurich. I'm not 100% sure. And by the second complaint, everything just went straight through like that, because I think they knew I'd just like had enough of this being dragged on. But that was then, you know, I mean, I was 22, 23. So like I'm 41. No, I'm 42 this year. So this is like 20 years ago. Things have changed so much since then, because even my financial advisor that I spoke, they came to the house and I spoke to them face to face in a humane, I suppose, compassionate one-to-one setting. Whereas now, like the situation you're having, like we all have now, because there's so many people that work from home, there's so many places that you can't get through to, because either the people that are working from home aren't actually working from home and they're just tossing it off somewhere, or the businesses that you're trying to get hold of to make that much money off your phone call, because most people use more mobile phones now anyway. These numbers, the charge at an extortionate rate, that you're on hold for that long, 40, 50 minutes, an hour, however long it'll be, to make that much money off you. And then your call might be 2 minutes, but they've made the money off you anyway. And like you were saying before, everything now as well is auto-generated. So whenever you phone somewhere up and they say, is your problem 1 this? Is it number 2 this? Whichever one you select, it'll put you through to the next menu, which then strips it down to a smaller, more focused group of questions about your call. And then when you eventually get through to the person, it's all screen prompted questions. So again, you've lost any sort of focus, thought, mind, connection, one-to-one humane connection, empathy, compassion for that person, because it's all just scripted, it's auto-generated, and it takes away all that compassion, all that empathy, all that intuition as well, you know, because you need to have this intuition to have this one-to-one connection with somebody. And again, this is another part of what I talk about taking away these layers of things over time. So eventually we are so reliant upon this system.
Yeah, definitely.
AI of computers, that it's removed all that. I would dread to think what, I mean, obviously for the situation that you're going through, but I would dread to think what moving house.
And the thing is, it could still happen. It could still happen, but you know what could happen? Like our old house, that came in so quick, because when they're ready to go, they go, and they don't. Again, there's no compassion. They'll go from from what they are now, and then they'll go, right, you got to get out, want you out, because then they want your money. I mean, our last house, that went on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. We sold it in January, and we didn't get out until May. Okay, and that was a long one. And we got a phone call: if you don't move out, your buyer's dropping out. What? What? We didn't know what?
Yeah.
We're waiting for you. We're waiting for him. What? If you don't get out in the next week, it's like, what? This ain't rented. You're not the landlord. You're not kicking me out. Oh, we are. And he's like, it was Gary had to get his number and actually talk to him, because the estate agent had gone at him that much, our buyer, that he refused to talk to her. It was weird. It was awful. And he got him to extend it for 2 weeks, so he had space to do it. But I think this is going to be the same. It's going to be a case of, bye. See ya.
It'll probably just drop all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like all systems going. You're like, well, where do I start?
Yeah. And I remember as well with that house, I mean, you're like me, you're an energy person, so you know the importance of cleaning the house properly, the energy, make it clean for the next person. So we were cleaning the old house, and they rang up and said it's completed. And we said, all right, well, we're just cleaning up. No, get out. That's what she said, get out. And it's like, what? And
Wow.
we've just had all bins and furniture and everything, you know, all beds and stuff taken out, and it's all dusty.
Mm.
And we were cleaning it as they were taking it out. No, get out now. He wants to get in. He wasn't even in the country. He was renting it out. It was a landlord that had bought it. And
Again,
it was just,
that's what you get with people that aren't on the same the same vibration as us. You know, that they don't care about the energetic position that the house has been left in, or the physical condition that's been left in. They just want people out so they can focus on the transaction of the money.
And get the money and then you gone. It's awful.
Wow.
It's great, and it'd probably be the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Bloody hell. It's been like you were saying before, it's been affecting like your grounding. You've been having bother with your leg and getting upstairs and what have you. So I know I mean I've talked about it before videos, but I know when I was going through situations with being in between jobs and stuff, and I had issues where I was having lots of pains in my knees and my feet, and I was working out what it was, and I thought, you know, is it an injury? Is it something I've done just from walking? Or because I was doing lots of walking and what have you. And I was just like, no, this is from the situation that I'm in. But it wasn't until after, when I was back in work, and all that pain just went straight away, and I was just like, that's what it was. It was the situation that I was in, and how it's manifested within us physically. So yes, I mean, I said to you before about getting some malachite, because what I found when I was having those issues, I was putting malachite on my ankles, on my knees, because I only had one piece at the time, and it's actually a piece that I'm doing in my crystal giveaway on my channel. But when I was having those issues, I was putting the malachite on the joints that I was having issues with, just putting my hand over them or meditating with them on that place. The pain subsided, and the malachite actually removed the energy block that was creating the pain issue. So that really, really helped a lot. So if you can get some, have you got anywhere local where you can get crystals? No.
No, not around here, no. We've got plenty of drug dealers. Sorry.
Do you mean alternative tradespersons? Hey God,
yeah, we've got offices, we've got boozers, we've got vape shops, we're not going to crystal shops.
No, oh well. Maybe on New Earth they'll all be changed. There'll be none of that. It'll all be just gemstones and shiny things.
Yeah.
So yeah, God, crikey, what a situation to be in. So I mean, today we're going to talk about like healing from life situations, so how have you found your way of dealing with all this? I mean, obviously you have your own practices, and you have your own ways of dealing with it. So what are they? You know, let's enlighten people about what we do in those situations.
Meditation, talking to guides, and I think dealing with the present moment, open-mindedness. It's like, because my 40th is at the end of June, and I'm celebrating it over 2 weekends. Weekend 19th, I'm meant to be coming back into Leeds for a spa weekend and to meet family, and then the following weekend it's my actual birthday. And it's like, and I was like, it could actually fall where it's on one of those weekends where the rate it's going. And I'm like, I don't want to celebrate my 40th like that. And it's like, well, why not? If that happens, why not? If I have to, because it's interesting, because I got a card this morning that came up for me out of this deck about the house move. I'll try and find it. I will find it. Where is it? And basically it's about going with the flow. And I think that's what we're all being tested on at the minute, is the going with the flow and the new time frequencies that are coming in. Where is it? It should come out, because I think time's changing. Do you know what I mean? And I pull cards, healing, Reiki, but the thing is, I think you've just got to be real, and I think you've just got to be, I can't find this card. when you're pissed off, you just say you're pissed off.
Mm.
That's another thing, just be real. Because I think there's a lot of that in the spiritual community where it'll be fine. Well, actually, no, right now, this minute, I'm really pissed off.
Yeah.
I know that, and I'm upset, and I'm angry, and I'm anxious.
Yeah.
Own your feelings, and it doesn't matter if it's there for a while. Just feel it, because I think there's a lot going on in the matrix at the minute, and I think it's getting quite dark and quite heavy out there, and a lot of not just house moving, but governmental schools. I can imagine parents with children going through schools at the minute. I won't even like to think about that, to be honest.
It is becoming very challenging at the moment, isn't it?
My guys just said also people that have got cancer that are trying to get treatment, because he just said that to me. There's people struggling to get treatment.
Yeah.
When you listen to it like that and you think, I'm struggling to get a house move date, but there's another woman that's my age out there right now that maybe won't reach 40 because the system won't get in place quick enough to help her to reach 40. See what I mean? It comes just like that.
And it's about putting everything into context. Yeah. If you sit back, the way I try and look at it now is I just sit back and I just look at the situation, and I just think, you know, how, yes, it is a setback. It's holding us back. Yes, it is shit. Yes, it's crap. Yada yada yada. All that sort of stuff. But in comparison to what could be going on, how bad is it really? Yeah. So you do have to, yes, you can be pissed off. Yes, you can be angry. Yes, you can be upset. Yes, you can cry and be sad and whatever. But that's all part of the experience of being human. It's a human experience, and we have to go through these stages to understand that when we get to a point and we look at it and we analyze it, or we look at it and we watch it and we see what it is for what it is, and just say, you know what, in the whole scheme of things, it's not really what
honestly, Ian, for about 6 weeks this has been going on. I've been getting more and more stressed, not all the time, and just that download that came in now, it was just like, you know what, you're right. And it was just a whisper that came in. It just puts it into perspective. And I think that's the thing with us humans, and I think it's down to the reptilianness in all of us, because all bloodlines are affected by it. Every bloodline is, you know, our bloodlines go way back. All those ancestors millions of years ago, you know, mated and stuff with them. They didn't realize what they were doing back then, and we still can mate with them, because you can. Anyway, I'll leave that. Do you know what? But we can.
Boom, boom. Yeah.
But and so yeah, I think that's the thing with us all. I think there's that aspect in us. I want it now. No. And that I'm the most important person in the world. No, you're not. Because there may be somebody out there that's living in an area that's really abusive, and they're terrified every night they go to bed. This is a lovely house. It's got a lovely energy. It isn't a nice street. It's safe. I'm not living on the street. I'm not having to, you know.
And again, it's like, it's part of balancing the ego as well, isn't it? It's balancing the ego situation of looking at it from all angles, looking at it from all aspects, because the way we react, that our reaction is our ego, the way it fires forward and steps forward and tries to take over the situation. And yes, that's also fine, because again, that's part of being human. We all have that. When we step, like I say, we step back and look at it from the bigger perspective and the bigger picture of things. But the other aspect of things, which just came to me while you were talking there, is the fact that as we awaken and as we ascend and go through this process and change our vibration, other people aren't. So we, as we awaken, we see, again, with everything in life, we see a bigger picture of things. We see everything, which makes us, in actual fact, it's more of a bit of a curse, really, because you do see every aspect of what is going on. Whereas people in the matrix are so fixated on just doing that one job, going to the next person, doing that one job, going to the next person, doing that one job. When you start to awaken, you start to see a big picture, and your pineal glands firing up. You start to look at the whole picture, and you realize and see things that, well, why don't you do this? Well, why can't you do that? And you question things, and you put things forward. You put things forward to people about about different situations and different ways of working. And then sometimes you'll be like, they'll be like, oh, I never thought about doing that. Well, that's a good idea, isn't it? Hey, how did you think of that? Hey, where did that come from? But like on one side, we're just like, well, surely that's just common sense. But it is to a lot of people. To a lot of people, it's just like, because again, they're so ingrained in that one job process and not allowing them to expand that awareness. And the more you expand your awareness and find your zen and go into your flow, the more you're aware of your extrasensory stuff as well as your inner sensory stuff as well. So you can see much more. And that's why I think that's why we question and sort of say no like a lot to what's going on, because it doesn't resonate with our souls, with our beings, because we see so much more within it.
Yeah, definitely. You see as well, do you know what I think talking to each other, not just me and you, but I think we've all been cut off from communication with people. I think sometimes just meeting a friend or having a coffee with somebody outside of the loop can bring in a fresh bit of information and a fresh bit of energy, which awakens your own alchemy up, if that makes sense. If I just sat here all afternoon fuming, because I probably would have done had I not had this phone call, I'd have just got worse and worse and worse and worse. Throat rash chakra would have been going, I'd have been like that, raw, you know. I'd have probably fallen downstairs and everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because we've had this conversation and it's brought your energy and your alchemy and your light, and it's like it's opened it up now, and it's helped me to see something that I couldn't see.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes we get so caught up in the pain of the situation, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And again, that's sometimes like the ego thing, isn't it? Because the ego likes to be oh, woe is me, oh dear, oh this is happening, and it's creating this, and but the more you focus on that and don't let it out and speak to people about it, or explore or see bigger possibilities or bigger whatever the picture may be, until you do that, you're so fixated in that woe is me, that I am situation, that you become so absorbed in that your awareness just gets smaller and smaller and smaller till you make yourself ill, or you get yourself stressed, or you create disease within the body, because you're so absorbed in yourself. And sometimes people live, well, a lot of the time people live like that, and they actually enjoy being in that place of just labeling themselves as ill, alcoholic, this, depressed, anxious, whatever. Not always, but a lot of people have that label and give themselves that label, and then, but the more they label themselves that, the more they are creating it. And again, it's with the alchemy, it's with the manifestation. The more you believe in you label yourself in that situation of the woe is me, or I'm so deep, I'm so down, I'm so poor, I'm so, creates more of that energy. And it's trying to flip that switch, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it is about mindset, and it can also be easier said than done.
Oh, absolutely.
It's about opening up and thinking that that's possible. Because are you a victim of it, or are you just gonna? I wish I could find that card's not there for some reason. I can't find it, but it's almost like it's a woman, and she's as what?
It's the fairies. They've took your card.
Took my card. No, but it's not there. So I've lost a card. I've not lost a card. I'm fuming.
That'll be something else we'll have to talk about. We'll have an hour's therapy after this session. So, Claire, tell me what's happening. Well, I've lost a card. You what?
Shall I see if I can shuffle it out? See if it'll come out. See if we can shuffle this card out.
What was it called?
I can't remember. It was see, Feast of Plenty's just come out. Choices and their consequences. This isn't the card, by the way. But choices and their consequences. Are we going to choose to be a victim, or are we going to choose to not be a victim? And it is down to choice. You know, because right now, I mean, I'm 39. There could be another 39-year-old woman that's woken up and her house is burnt down, or she's been burgled, or partner's come back from the pub and he smashed it up, because it happens. Whereas I'm sat here and having a meltdown because I might not be able to get the date I want to move, and like spirit are looking down and thinking, selfish. Wake up. Wake up, wake up.
Mm.
I know, I'm going to stop talking about this card now because I'm just...
You'll be winding yourself up again. Yeah. Hey dear. Yeah. So I mean that's the way I try and view situations now. I try and look at them with a, with a, I suppose, a broader view, and try not to be too fixated and stuck in that energy of whatever it is, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's within, it's within work as well. It's within the working world, it's within whatever you do. Part of your ego is just like, oh, that's really, really pissed me off, and it can really take you down that path. But then you have to just step back. Well, there's plenty more opportunities for this. There's plenty more time you can do that. You can, there's ways you can develop yourself and bet yourself in different ways, and working in. It's just about working in a different energy, and again, being the alchemist and creating that new energy that you need within yourself. Because sometimes our lives can be so dictated and controlled by the 9 to 5 eat, sleep, repeat thing, that when we come to have our days off, that the days off are just basically just doing nothing.
Yeah.
Resting, recuperating, when in actual fact you could be out and about. You could be going to the coast, you could be going out into nature, you could be going for a walk, you could be spending time with your family away from digital media as much as possible, and having that one-to-one connection. Because if you spend however long, whatever industry, wherever you work, if you spend all that time in that loop, and then you come out of it and you spend the however many days off you get just doing nothing, you're feeding nothing. You're not feeding anything within you, and the energy just goes and just subsides.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it's quite this is quite a monumental time for a lot of people, I think, that are going through this awakening journey and trying to exist within the matrix, within the pattern. And like we were saying before we came on, how a lot of people have said, shit, no, I'm not doing this anymore. And they've all, millions, especially across America and in the UK as well, where they've all just packed up, they've left their jobs, they've gone out, they've got a camper van or whatever, or they're living in a caravan, or they've formed communes, they're creating a self-sufficient society in small communities away from the big cities, so they're not reliant on that side of things. And it's interesting how you see all these different things that are playing out, and people are pulling themselves away from that. There's a lot of the politics and those sorts of people that are trying to keep it all together. You can definitely see it fragmentalizing.
Yeah, definitely. And Gary was saying the other day that he read that more and more young people now are choosing not to get a mortgage, and that they're choosing to rent because they've seen what it's like. That you're trapped and you're anchored, and it takes you so long to move it. You're trapped in the job you're in, because if you don't get that amount of money, you lose your mortgage. Whereas if you're renting, you can say, well, I'm going to go rent a flat, or I'm going to go and rent a bedsit, or I'm going to rent with a shared house.
Yeah.
So you're more free to do what you want to do, rather than a mortgage where you're just anchored in.
The funny thing about that is that's just reminded me of something there. When I was between jobs and I went to go and try and claim for universal credit, which I never got anything for, because I was only out of work for about a month anyway. But when I went down there and I was talking to them, I had to go in and talk to the job people. Have you been searching for jobs? Yes. I've been doing it. Yes. Yeah. Going down all the usual loopholes that they go through. And then eventually when I got to speak to someone about it, and I asked, what sort of support can I get for the house? Oh, do you rent? No, I have a mortgage. Oh, you won't get anything then.
Yeah.
What? So I pay a mortgage that the system has told me is what you need to do. You need to get a mortgage. You need to have a house. You need to have your bricks and mortar for your pot and what have you. And you pay into that. You pay into the system. But if you don't have any of that and you just rent, you get everything given to you. And hang on a minute, that's wrong to start with. I understand that people need support that rent, and what have you. But what about those people that are being paying into the system that they've talked about for so long, saying that, well, that's the right way of doing things. You know, you need to get a mortgage, you need to get on the ladder, you need to do this, you need to do that. But like you say, things have changed so much now that you need to be a bloody multi-millionaire just to get a house now. You need to be able to put a deposit down or whatever, because it's just become so extortionate. So, and the only way for people to live is to rent, and usually rent's probably about 3 times what my mortgage is anyway a month. Especially like to rent somewhere around here, you're probably looking about £600 a month, which is pretty much triple what maybe double what I pay for my mortgage. But then again, if they're not on any sort of support, that creates that reliance on the system, because it keeps them penned in that line of things.
It's all changing. It's all going to change. It's
very how it works, but like you say,
it's interesting to see how it's going to all fall apart. It's going to fall apart soon. It's already falling apart now. It's just everything.
I mean, like I said, the clutching at things so hard to try and pull it all together and create more of this this dominance and this fear and what have you. But people are past it all now. That they've had enough of it, and now they're saying, no, don't believe it anymore.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh. Yeah.
So, I mean, some of the things I use, like when I come home from work, that I try and get out of the matrix mind and come back into the space. Even just coming and sitting in this room helps a lot. You know, helps just being in this energy of this room, where I usually have nice music playing and I've got all crystals and oils and things around me, and so even that just helps alleviate the mood. And if I need to, I'll light some incense or some Palo Santo, and that really helps to get rid of any of that stuff, you know, that's floating around from the matrix world. So yeah, it is interesting, and it's interesting how we discover our own paths and our own ways of healing as well, and how we deal with it and develop it and work with it. It'd be interesting to know what people do that watch our videos as well, you know, how they deal with it.
Yeah, comment below how you deal with it, and anything you think can help. Watch us, even though we can all share, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, things that you know, that we don't do, if somebody else does, then we're like, oh, I'll give that a go, see if that works for me, you know. And everybody's different, and everybody's got a different way of helping their energy and working their energy and getting through it all.
Yeah, a download that's just coming now for me is, when you're in a similar situation, whatever it is that's stressing you at the minute, ask your ego to step aside and ask what your heart chakra wants to do. Ask your heart chakra, because whenever anything happens to us, we straight away go into ego, fight or flight, victim. We do it. We can't help it. We really can't help it. But to stop that, to practice stopping that, and then ask your heart to step forward.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's absolutely. It's just looking at it with a bigger picture. It's opening your heart, and it's opening your third eye and seeing it from a wider perspective, isn't it? Seeing like through different colored goggles, because there's so many layers to every situation. And then there might be some people who'll think, well, how do I do that? How do I work with my heart chakra? How do I function on that energy? How do I awaken this? You know, so some people that are watching might not know about how to heal various layers of that. The things that I've found quite good, especially working with the heart energy, is using positive affirmations, love affirmations, joy, compassion affirmations, sending love out to others, and being receptive to love for you as well. Because usually if you've got something going on with your heart space or your heart chakra, it's because there may be a connection to, I don't know, like an ex or a previous partner or something like that, that's having you held back. It could be where you've gone through some sort of trauma in early life where you lose the love for yourself, and you might find yourself, I don't know, you may just judge yourself so much because of the way the social media works and the matrix works, because you see so many people that have like the perfect body, and you think, oh, I should be like that. When in actual fact, when you start operating on the level of love and you have the love and appreciation for yourself, you realize that all that doesn't matter. What's going on within, and it's about the love for you, it's about the love for the others. And the more you focus on that feeling and that energy and working in that heart space, you will find that actually you will see changes within yourself, and you will actually think, oh, I look really good today, I feel really good today, I feel really positive. And that's all about your vibration shifting and how you're leveling your energy up. And the more, and you can do that with each chakra within your body. And you can use a variety of tools which we talk about on our individual channels, which Claire or myself will link below. And I know on my channel I've got like a full chakra meditation that I've done, going from the root chakra up to the crown chakra, which you can follow. But yeah, I mean there's multitude of ways that we can work with our energy and help to heal our energy. So, I mean, what are some of the ways that you like to work, Claire?
Very similar to yours, and I've just been shown a new technique. So for you, we said about those that don't know how to connect to the heart chakra, put your hand on your heart and your hand on your head, and you obviously your heart chakra transmits the information into your hand. So it acts as a transmission through the body into the hand onto the head. So that's what you can do. And just sit there in silence. But yeah, just rest. Talking like we're talking. Self Reiki. I had a session of Reiki this week of somebody else, just doing all that you can, all the crystals.
I was just about to talk about crystals.
Staging, everything.
One of the best crystals that I've found for the heart chakra is probably like a rose quartz. Which is like something like that. It looks like that. But just holding a rose quartz in your hand and just feeling that connection of the quartz in your hand, and just being aware of it, closing your eyes if you want to, and then just keep repeating the affirmations that I am love, I feel love, I receive love, I give love. And the more you feel like, you can actually feel your energy change. You can feel you can feel something happens within your body. You can feel your energy starts to lift slightly out of your body. And you do feel, you get up and you walk around and you feel taller. You walk more proud, you walk with your shoulders back, you have more confidence, you have more power within yourself. And you know, that's just from 10-20 minutes of holding a crystal and just repeating some affirmations. And you know, something like that as well is really good for people that have, you know, any sort of anxiety or depression or mental health issues, or if they've got so ingrained in that place of, you know, of having depression or anxiety or some sort of mental health disorder that they can't see a way out. You know, that you have everything within you or around you, if you want to use crystals, to be able to help heal on that level and get yourself out of it.
Yes.
The hand on the heart thing's really good. I might try that. I do sit sometimes and put my hand on my heart, but that's more for like self Reiki sometimes. The affirmation thing, I normally just sit with my hands in my lap or hold a crystal and just say the affirmations.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard, and I think we need to acknowledge how hard it is out there at times as well, because I think sometimes in this community we can forget that there is I hate to say the real world, I hate that, the 3D world, and it's bloody toxic at times. It's really, but it can be. I mean, what we've just been talking about is small fry compared to some of the traumas that people are experiencing out there.
Oh yeah.
And you know, when people are going through some horrific things, are they going to be sat there like that? They're not. They're going to be crying. They're going to be, and I think we've got to acknowledge that you've just got to go through that bit, and then once you've done that and you've done your crying, your anxiety, and everything, and then I think that's important.
Yeah.
I think there's this thing in the spiritual community where I can't feel, and maybe there's something wrong with me because something's not happening as quick as it should be. That matrix out there is fucked up, and it'll happen when it's meant to happen.
Yeah.
And all we can do is just feel that anger, feel that pain, and then deep breath, and then start to heal. I think that's important, to feel the anger.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But I do know, like personally, I do know there's a lot of people that will, they won't be able to get past that. They will just feel the anger, and they won't. Yeah, they'll just go into that label mode, and they won't get past that point of that labeling of themselves. They'll just think, well, that's it. That's just me. That's the be all and end all. That's who I am. I'll just have to live the rest of my life like this. You know, well, no, you don't have to live the rest of your life like that. You know, you're only creating, again, like I said, like what I was saying before, you're creating that reality for yourself by having that constant labeling of who you think you are. You are so much more infinite than what they actually understand or believe. But yeah, I mean, going through the processes and understanding and seeing it and feeling it is definitely paramount. But it's also the point where sometimes there's a point where you have to say, right, I've experienced that, I felt it, now I need to start to look at myself and heal and go through the processes.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting, isn't it? It's a very, very vast subject, and there is no right or wrong answer. I think also finding your own personal way to cope with things is important as well.
Yeah. And I think that's something we both see on our own individual channels, isn't it? You know, that we're all unique and we all have our own ways of dealing with things. So we're not here to kind of like tell people what to do or how to do it. It's down to the individual, and some people's lives is about that. It's about being in that energy of having, but and not being able to see a way out because they need to experience that in that lifetime. And sometimes that's just the way it is for some people. But we've all been there, we've all done it. You know, we all have to level up, learn, heal, and develop ourselves on whatever process we can within that. And it's, you know, for some people that there is no way out, but you know, you can help a little bit, I think, just by making them see that they are so much more infinite and powerful than what they actually come to realize. There's been a lot of videos that I've seen recently on TikTok of I've downloaded it again.
I thought you had.
Yeah, there's been a lot of videos of these. I don't know if you've seen them, like trauma release TikToks, where there's people and they're just like, oh, they're just like crying, they're shouting, they're screaming, they're letting everything out. And but that's like the whole video, and you just think, bloody hell, there must be so much trapped in there that they've just hung on to, and they just let it all out in one go. Which I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if it's good to let it all out in one go. I think that can be quite traumatic.
Yeah, I think I've seen that kind of stuff before, and it always made me feel a bit cringe. I come with that thinking it was something. When I saw it, it was a group of men that were doing man healing, divine masculine healing, and to me, it was all very dramatic.
Oh, where they stood in a field and they're just like putting their hand on the chest, and they're like saying like, tell me who you are, tell me how powerful you are, and all this. They're repeating it, and they just sort of start shaking and what have you.
Yeah, it was all like that, and I was like, you see, I think some things should be private. I think some things, I don't know, again, it's the frequency behind it. To me, when I watched it, it just seemed very much egoic, and it was, the healers seemed to be all egoic and a bit narcissistic, actually. It was a bit like the Amber, you know, when Amber Heard sat in the dock and she's like that, It was very much like that. It was, this is something not right, this.
Yeah. It's a bit like those, you know, I've mentioned to you before about them people that transmit light language over
Yeah.
what the hell are they doing? What are they sending out? There could be anything. You know,
I'm glad you said that, because you know, when you said that, I was like, I'm glad I'm not the only one that doesn't like that. I know light language exists, and I have actually seen it on my blinds, and I know it exists in meditation where they can give it to you.
yeah.
I go and they're all doing all that, and I just think there's something not right there.
I mean, I've seen it before in my third eye, and I've received it and what have you, but when I watch them, I'm just like, it feels demonic. It feels really dark. Whatever they are doing feels really dark. So yeah, so I've got 6 cards here that fell out the pack, and I've got 2 oracle cards here as well, so I'm going to do the oracle cards last. But so yeah, so I've pulled 6 cards. Well, I never pulled 6 cards that just fell out the pack, and I thought, okay, so here we go. Claire Thackray, this is your life. Da, 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 da. Anyone that's young, they'll be thinking, what the hell are they talking about? What show is that? So the first card that came out for you was about conflict, 5 of Wands. And I thought, wow. And then when you were telling me about what's been going on, and then I showed you the card that came up, I was just like, bloody hell. Yeah, that's kind of like bang on. And there's obviously a lot of conflict going on, but especially with this move for you. But there is, you know, there is positivity in the end. There is change ahead. So, you know, go with it. The next card that I mean, I'm just pulling these in no particular order of how I found them. Yeah. But the next card that I got was, again, it was Wheel of Fortune. Lots of decisions and changes of things that are going to be at hand. And that's probably for using these cards, I think that's probably only the second or third time that I've had that card out, and each time it's been something where people have been in a situation where they're having to make decisions in life, and they're having to plan things, and you know, for what you're going through with the planning and the move and everything. So there is going to be I think there is going to be some more decisions for you to have to make in the near future in regards to that. So let's just see what happens. Be interesting. There's definitely some speculation going on with the seven of pentacles. I always have to look at this card and realize what it is, because I count the pentacles and I'm thinking, no, there's only 6 there, and like, no, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, there's 7. Yeah, so yeah. Lots of speculation and lots of thinking and lots of you time and procrastination, which I'm sure you've been doing a lot of that this morning after your phone call. Like, why? So yeah, again, after hearing what's been going on with you, I thought, wow, that's quite poignant. You've also got the 2 of Wands, which is about like the world and having the world in your hands. So whether are you planning on going on holiday abroad, or having a cruise, or going on some
we're going up to the northeast, but I think that keeps coming up with that move, that card. It does keep coming up. Yeah. It's all about looking to new starts, isn't it, and looking to new horizons.
Yeah, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think that especially for when you get moved across, when you actually get into Lincoln. Yeah. It's probably going to make you see things in a totally different aspect, totally different viewpoint, because I think from where you are currently, from what you've said about in Leeds, you know, and not having that great feeling about the city and trying not to go into the city centre that much, I think that's going to totally switch your seeing and things when you get into Lincoln. I think it'll be a totally different, it'll be polar opposites, I think, from what you're used to, which will create your Page of Pentacles. And then you've got the Queen of Pentacles after as well.
Hey,
so there's
nice cards, aren't they? They're good cards.
so that they're a good pair of cards, because you know you come into that place of wisdom, of groundedness, of solidarity, and you know, from I think you obviously the page, you know, you're going to learn quite a lot from this as well, and I think you've probably learned a lot already, and you will view things with a totally different eye, and I think that again that'll be something that you'll get from the move. When you get to Lincoln and get settled, you'll see things a lot differently there. And then the two oracle cards that I got fire, which the first one was drum. So it's about, I thought, well, as a shamanic healer, I thought, well, that's quite poignant, but then that's about dreaming and journey. So journey, the travel, the move, you've the dreaming, that the place that you want to be. You know, maybe there will be some sort of holiday. I know you're on about moving up to the northeast, but maybe there will be something else in store after that. You might go up to you might go over to Time House and go over to Amsterdam, go and smoke some wacky backy. Oh, I'm off my tits. Get enlightened a little bit further. And then the other card was about unlocking your magic from within. Magic. Which I thought, wow, they're really good cards for you. So maybe there's something else that needs to come out within your journey, within your magic, within your healing, and yeah, interesting. I think maybe this move is going to create a lot of that, you know, a lot of this new, because Lincoln's quite near. I'm trying to think, it's just above Norfolk. Is it just above Norfolk, Lincoln?
I don't know.
You don't know where you're moving to. I'm sure it's just. I'm sure that Lincolnshire.
I think it is.
Yeah, and then you've got Humberside above that, and then you've got North Yorkshire, then County Durham. Yeah. And then Northumberland and Tyne-Wear above that. Yeah, so I think it'll definitely open a few different things for you. And I think from what you were saying about, because you had healing from Kirsty, didn't you? Who I did a coffee chat with on my channel, and you'd said that that's really helped lock a few things within you. That's helped you move through your healing journey a little bit as well. What else? What do you think it did for you in regards to that? Then, how did you feel? How do you feel it's helped you over the last few days?
Do you know what? It's probably helped me in getting to where I've got today with this conversation and that, because it was having a real impact, because it's dealing with the matrix. It's the frequency of the matrix. It's more the frequency of it than what they say, if that makes sense. And I think having that healing has also helped that, and it probably helped me move through this quicker. But it's also helped past life stuff, which I texted you about this morning, which I think that's part of the purge, is why I'm still in Leeds, because I'm still having to purge a lot of that out rather than take it into the new house. Yeah, absolutely. Because
wasn't it? It was Peter Sutcliffe stuff again, wasn't it? That.
Yeah. Because after I messaged you, I was thinking about it, and I thought, oh, it makes sense. And I thought, I won't message you again. But basically, what happened was I found myself in the middle of Hare Hills again in Chapeltown, and I was in this shopping centre. But the person that I was in that lifetime worked around that area, and I was with these people, and they felt like people that I knew then, but they'd gone down they'd taken some dark paths. And I was walking through this place with them, and I said to this older man that felt like he was, he felt like an uncle, but I think he was actually my boyfriend from that lifetime, older as he is now, if that makes sense. So I'm walking through, and I said, will you take me back on that old walk where I ended up getting killed? I know I'm morbid, but it is what it is. So we went on it, and I could see it as it was back in the 70s, but I could see it what it was now. And we walked through this park, which was where it was, and then we got to this certain area, and all of a sudden these little critter things came out. I at the time thought they were ants, but when after I texted you, I thought they weren't ants, because they were like little critter things that stuck on, and they stuck on me. And I remember he said, put your coat up like that, and I ducked down, and they basically stuck on my face everywhere, and they were drawing blood. And I walked away, and I went back to this centre, and I took my coat off and I shook it off, and all the critters jumped off and went. Well, if you have an ending like that where you're murdered with such a dark energy as he was, and the dark energy that was with him, well, of course there's going to be stuff that jumps on. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to be a nice.
Yeah.
I felt as though that was a symbolism of me shaking off all that, and all the judgment as well, because the women that were killed by him were judged. And a lot of those judgments were actually unfounded. A lot of the women weren't actually working girls. And if they were working girls, they were doing it for their families to put food on the table.
Yeah. Were they like leeches or something like that?
Yeah, it was like, like bed bugs.
Yeah.
They looked like bed bugs, but they had like claws, and they gripped on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like ticks or something.
Yeah, but they were like proper minute, like really minute. And they were like a brownie colour. It was weird. They were weird.
It's almost like a parasitic energy, isn't it?
Yeah. You can get. The strange thing is, I do have itchy back. I do have an itchy back, and obviously there will have been plenty of stab wounds in the back and in the chest. But I can get a really itchy chest at times, like really scratch it, and especially the back area, and itchy head as well. Itchy head, awful scalp. That's why my hair's awful, because it's just.
Yeah.
So I can't really colour my hair anymore, because I've just got a constant itchy scalp.
Yeah, it'll just flare it up as well. And plus, like what you've talked about in one of your videos, with all the chemicals and stuff that's in the hair dye and whatever, it won't do the skin any good.
No.
I tell you what was on the radio today when I was going food shopping this morning. We were talking about how many people are coming down with like skin cancers and things like that. And I think a lot of it is from what they're putting on the skin.
Yeah.
The actual sun lotion that's full of all these toxins, things that you can't even pronounce. But people believe that it's going to be a block for them. I don't know. I think there's something in that.
I've been getting this as well about sunblock, and it's weird because I've always struggled with sunblock and I've always forgotten it. It's weird. I've ended up with getting badly burnt in the past because of it. Yeah, I think, what is it? This is ringing a bell. Have I heard this? Have I felt this? But I think it's coming because the sun is such a powerful healer. Let's block it off. But again, you've got to be careful because you can get burned.
Yeah, it's the same with I don't know at the minute. I don't know what it's like in Leeds at the minute, but it's like the whole geoengineering, let's say, that goes on in the skies. This whole process of trying to acclimatize a planet, but in actual fact is trying to block out the sun's rays, because the sun's rays are actually really good for us. A good source of vitamin D, good source of energy to help wake us up, wake our energy field up. I think there's something definitely big going on within that, because the light at the minute and the sun rays that we're getting, and what I talked about in a recent video about Mother Nature and how she's such a healer, and you've talked about it in your videos as well. And I think this connection to especially the elementals, the sun, the earth, water, this connection that we all need for our energy is so vital and so important, especially so I think right now, the way things are in the world. Nature is so important, and getting outdoors and getting the sunshine is so important as well.
But I think she's fighting back. And I don't think they'll be able to. Like now, where I'm now, it's just clear blue sky.
There was loads over hours this morning. I don't know if they're still there, but they just sort of like spread out, don't they? Just create like a patchwork quilt of just like this stuff. But it almost seems to, when you see it all in one area, all the clouds seem to like get pushed away. This stuff that's in the sky, and you just think, what's it doing? Because surely the clouds are so important for acclimatization of the planet, you know, to keep heat in and to let heat out, you know, and that's what the atmosphere does. But this stuff that they're putting up there that's pushing it all away, it's like putting salt on snow, you know, it's like it just absorbs it and gets rid of it. And you're like, so what's it actually doing up there? What's it creating? And obviously when it's up there, the gravity is going to pull it down, so it has to go somewhere.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And also Queen's Jubilee, well, let's not go. I want to say Queen's Jubilee could delay my move. If my move goes into June, then Queen's Jubilee is going to delay it as well. Thank you very much, Your Majesty. Bow down. We'll tell you what, we'll put the world on hold just so you can celebrate 70 years of doing nothing. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking, because obviously it's my birthday on the 4th of June, so I was thinking of having a whip round and see if all the taxpayers would like to pay for my birthday party.
Oh, I think you should. You see Brian's thingy where I
was going to mention that today, actually. I was going to say,
you know, I think he's 8.
Yeah.
He'd worked out the cost, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Because he I think he works in some sort of not in governmental, but he gets a lot of those sort of details. I don't think he works so much now because of his health issues and what have you. But he did before, and he used to look into a lot of stuff, you know, and the fact that, you know, we'll all be paying for it, you know, and next year when the taxes go up, and this year when the taxes have gone up, it all goes towards that. Along with everything else as well, you know, and right, it's right what he says, you know, if she wants a party, why don't you pay for it for fucking self, you know, because she's the richest bloody woman on the planet.
Yeah.
But hey ho, let's trigger the royals. Yeah. Anyway, that's just over an hour, I think. So
let's be good.
But we've had a good mix of conversation. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. Let us know what you think, folks, who's watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. It all helps our algorithms. And also head over to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my channel, because once I get to 500 subscribers, I'm going to do a crystal giveaway. So the 6 crystals up for grabs on there. And yeah, anything else you want to add, Claire?
No, I think that's it. I think if you want to subscribe to our channels, it's all in the description below, our websites and everything. And on the homepage on YouTube, we've attached our YouTube channel. So if you want to follow us on there, please do.
Cracking.
Get Ian up to 500 subscribers, please.
It is my mission. I will succeed.
Yeah.
Oh God. Because when I get to 500 as well, I can do posts like what you do. I can do my socials on YouTube and really connect to the subscribers and find out what they want more of on the channel. So yeah. And if you do subscribe, let me know what you want me to do on the channel, because that channel as well is not just for me, it's for everybody that views, and it's all for the subscribers. So let me know what you think and what you want me to talk about and discuss or whatever. So yeah. So until then, until next week or whenever we get back together, thank you for watching. Thank you for viewing. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share, and see you soon.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.